Bellevue. I grew up in Campbell County, so I grew up about, 15 minutes south of here. And I always loved the area. My grandparents were from right up the road, and we would go to like the Marianne. We would actually go to the theater and saw movies there. And when we were looking for neighborhoods, we wanted a place where people actually lived. And I mean, by living, we meant like people were out and around.
I would say, when we first moved in, we were pretty young, and so we weren't all that involved in the community. We were kind of still involved with, like, we had a lot of friends that were from high school living in other areas, still, I don't know, being young and going out and doing stuff like that. And then at some point, maybe it was probably about the time we started having kids. Aaron's 12. So I think at that point we kind of started getting more interested in community and who we live next door to and who lives next door to us, and taking the time to get to know them and learn more about what Bellevue was and is, and love it. Like, I am really grateful that we found Bellevue and moved here.
People are moving all over, and they lose something when they move. They lose their roots, they lose their networks, their support system. And we thought, what would happen if we just stayed here instead of moving? We noticed, especially around the schools, a lot of people, especially in your grade, Aaron, as soon as they would get to about 3rd or 4th grade, they'd start talking about how they were going to put their house on the market. And they were going to start to move to Fort Thomas, or they were going to go to the private school, or they're going to sell their house and move out to the suburbs. But we said, what if we were going to stay and invest in the school and the community and our own family? And we fell in love with the place, right? Like, we discovered that there's so many beautiful people in Bellevue. Like, literally everyone is amazing.
I mean, we love the people, and to go to the school is definitely part of the community, and I really like the idea of knowing that we will know all the kids' names in our neighborhood. I like knowing the kids' names in the school, and I like the fact that I think I will know them as they grow up. They will know me.
Well, that happened last night. We were at a basketball game, and there's a kid who's in the 8th grade, and he remembers the time that you taught him not to eat a hot pepper at the community garden, right?
I think there is a beauty in the fact that we can walk to school and be home. Everybody walks. Patrick, Aaron, walking home from school has never been a concern, because we've always talked, like, if anything happened, we know the people along the way home, that if something happened, there's a house that you could knock on and ask for help. And that makes them feel better, that makes us feel better. Grandview and just all the changes since Rob Smith has come around, like, there is a new philosophy to education because of him, which is exciting. I have no fear that my children are learning and improving every day from the school, and also from just our choices in life and how we are together.
To me, the social aspect of Grandview is the most important thing. It is a neighborhood school, and those are going away. There's not many of those left. Almost every school that I know of, people have to get on a bus, kids have to go 45 minutes on a bus ride, and they go to a school that literally is probably a half hour away from their house, or 15 minutes away from their house. I mean, they're not able to walk there. And we just thought there's something really beautiful about a school that is of the community where the people live. A lot of our friendships and relationships come from knowing other families around us that go to school with us, and our lives are richer just because we get to be around our neighbors and around their children. I do agree too that Rob Smith's Bellevue classroom model is a way more exciting way to think about learning. I know for a fact that there's other districts that if they had this test scores that Grandview had, or a few years ago, they would probably just teach the test. And he kind of had people introduce this idea of reflection and conversation as part of learning, which is how we all learn anyway. So what he's doing is really, I think, courageous. He's trying to build a sustainable learning model that will take a little while to pay off.
My favorite activity is probably reading, because that's my favorite subject. and I really like drawing in library. Art club, we're making these little masks, and I'm an ambassador. Ambassadors are like these school, each class has one, and they kind of help out with the new kids. If the new kids, when the new kids, it's their first day, you have to explain to them what's this, what's that. Well, I really liked Miss Young because she was super nice to me, yeah. She was my first grade teacher. I really liked Miss Kuiper because she was very organized about everything.
Second grade, yeah. She was good.
And I liked Miss Beal because she was kind of strict about stuff. And I like strict because kind of.
Shocked by that answer, but okay.
I don't like too strict people.
Okay.
She wasn't too strict.
Not too strict. But it was good for kindergarten.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't really talk about what we're for without really, for us at least, talking about what we're against, I would say. We are against leaving. We're against people giving up on each other. We want people to figure out how to hang in, and that's probably been the biggest inspiration. Like you said, the teachers, right? They've hung in, and as a lot of other families left, we said, well, what's our responsibility to hang in? And then when you see Rob Smith come here and he's trying to figure out how to make things better, and he's working hard at it. Well, we can't leave him either, I mean, if everybody leaves, then it will be bad. But if everybody stays and pitches in and gets involved with a garden or gets involved with a reading club or whatever it is, then all of Bellevue's better by all of us participating, right? I mean, that's important. We definitely saw that there was a better story to tell if you stay and do good work with each other, right? And nothing that we've been involved with has ever been us by ourselves. The potlucks don't work if it's just us. Potluck with just one family showing up would be pretty silly. And a community garden isn't a community garden if it's by yourself. It actually takes 10 other families to show up, and it's important that everything we've been involved with has required a lot of other people to be a part of it.